SDRC back in the shop tonight. We've got some work to do on the KRATON. We've got a bit of diff issues. Rear diff was causing me some problems, making some noise when I'd hit the throttle hard. And what it was well, besides being all packed full of coal slag, coal dust, you can see right here, it might be hard to see on the camera, but right there where my finger's pointing is a bad spot on the gear, the ring gear. It's really worn badly. Two of the teeth are pretty much taken right off. One's almost removed completely. The other one's rounded really bad. That's what was causing the noise and the slippage in the back. Plus also, besides being really packed full of just coal slag and dust, this side over here, the bearing was completely falling apart basically. The inner race was broken, and I think it might have been even lost one bearing. I'm not sure. I don't know if you can see in there the bearings, but you can see them, and they're not in a cage anymore. They're just rolling around in there, so that was no good. So it was definitely diff maintenance time on this truck. And hold on, in here you can see, so look in there, yeah, she's pretty grimy in there, pretty nasty in there, so it's gonna have to be extensively cleaned, and I'll probably put all new bearings in if I have them. I usually do. I keep them in stock from Jim's Bearings, jimsbearings.com, that is. Check them out for all your bearing needs, for all your RC bearing needs, and some of your motorcycle bearing needs. I think Jimmy carries stuff like that too. Check them out, jimsbearings.com. Anyway, I'm going to get on with this. I'm going to start taking this apart, and I'll show you what it's like when I get this diff pulled apart here. Alright, I've got that rear diff all pulled apart. As you can see, it's pretty gross looking in there. Definitely needing some diff maintenance. The fluid is all, there's a bit of, not too bad, but it's a bit of metallic I can see to it. It's, kind of grayish. Definitely has lost its viscosity, and it looks like it's, I don't know, it's strange, because when you fill them up, it seems like they shouldn't go down, but they always do go down, and it doesn't seem like they leak out anywhere. I think it's just the viscosity of the fluid gets beat and broken down so much that it almost shrinks the fluid down in volume from being worn out over time. Because I don't see any leaks anywhere, and I'm pretty sure that I've already pulled this apart at least once to refill it in the time I've had this truck. So I'm pretty bad on the maintenance sometimes, but I'm not that bad. Anyway, I'm going to sit this upside down on this rag for the night. I'm going to leave it in my shop, just sitting like this, upside down on this rag. I'll come out tomorrow, and I will check these, and they will be completely emptied of all the fluid, and they should be pretty much dry. I'll still have to wipe off and clean off the bearings a bit, but that's the easiest way I've found to do it. You flip them over, let them sit overnight, come back, they're pretty much clean. You just got to get the residue off, but all the rest of the fluid is ran down and has emptied itself onto the paper towel like this. And so that's how I do it. Anyway, I will be back in 1 second with the rest of this video. Alright, I let the diff sit for a day. You can see all the fluid has come out there. The gears are, well, I'll try and get close here. My camera doesn't like it, but the gears are pretty clean. I'll take them out and clean them with a clean rag, and a toothbrush, wiping the excess silicone fluid off. And you can see that one's pretty clean too. Bit of residue on there still, but it should clean up pretty easily. And what's left is on the rags. You can see there, the circles, all gross and slimy, and it's not on my hands. Perfect. So I've got the VITAVON gears here. I've got the ring and pinion spiral cut gear set, 43 and a 10 tooth pinion. And then over here we've got the VITAVON HD Spider Gear Diff gear set. And that's all you need, man. That's, well, That's pretty much going to be a super strong diff. I'm going to get it all put back together. I'm going to put what we're going to use for fluid here. I've got some 5,000 I'm going to put in there. That's what I use for the center diff. Or sorry, not center. That's what I use for the front and the rear. I've been doing so many diffs recently that I can't keep it all straight. You know how it goes when you're doing a lot of vehicles. Alright, so I'm going to get this cleaned up. And I'm going to also replace these bearings because they're totally trashed. You can see they're falling apart. So I'm going to get those replaced. I've gotten most of the other parts all cleaned up already. Here's the old pinion. I've got that out. I did that off camera. I had to torch it with a mini torch and heat it up enough to get the screw out of here, and it finally came out. But it was a tough one. I definitely heated up until I saw the blue Loctite stump start coming out. Just, you can't see it on my camera, but there's a little bit of blue Loctite I could see right there just start bubbling out. Then I knew it was warm enough. Backed it off right away with my awesome SDRC tools here. Alright, well, I'm going to get these packages open. I'll show you what those are like, and I'm also going to get this cleaned up. Alright, as you can see, I've got the diff all apart. I've got the decent conditioned spare parts in a bag here, labeled rear diff for KRATON 6S. You can use those on any of the ARMA 6S line vehicles I have, the Sentin, the Typhon, or the KRATON. Here's the bearings that are, well, this one's totally broken. The cage is broken on this bearing. You can see the cage is missing parts of it, and there's probably a ball bearing missing too. And also the shields. These are supposed to be the seals. They're both come loose, just beat to death. This bearing's still in okay shape. It's still usable. I would say maybe a wheel bearing, but not a differential bearing anymore. Usable for a wheel bearing in a pinch. These pins should be not 3-piece pins. They should be 1 piece. Same with this one. Shouldn't be in 3 pieces. Should be in 1 piece. So I got some parts to find in my parts bin. I've got all the parts here for the diff all out and clean. The parts I'll be reusing. Everything was in decent shape. All these parts were still in decent shape, so I'll reuse all that. Here's the VITAVON parts over here. I still have to unpackage, and that'll be in the next clip here. I'm going to take a quick break, go get a quick coffee, and I'll be back to do the rest. Alright, we've got all the VITAVON gears and shafts here ready for the diff rebuild, and I'm going to get that put together. I got the diff cup here. I've already installed the output shaft, or the output cup, and a new bearing, and a new pin, a cross pin. Let's see if we can see in there. A new cross pin in there, and a washer under the cross pin to take up the tolerance that was in there that I didn't like. Bit of slop. So that's ready to go. I've got a new bearing here and a new pin and another washer for the other side. It's one of the fiber washers. It's like a, what is it? It's like nylon, sorry, not fiber. It's nylon, and it's for a Traxxas axle. It goes behind the pin on a Traxxas axle, 1/10 scale RCs. Sorry, I'm a little tired. It's the end of the day. I'm filming this video. And what else are we doing here? So I'm going to get this put together. I got to first of all finish cleaning out the casing in here. The diff in there, the casing, I got to finish cleaning that out, and I'm going to pop out the bearings and check those. I think the inner one's still good. The outer one, the smaller one of the two, the outer one is a bit worn. I think it seemed to be a bit more of a dragging feel as I tried to move it. So I'm going to pop it out and check it out and replace it if needed. So I will get on with this and show you what it's like at the next stage. 1 second. Alright, I didn't have those pins I needed in stock, so I had to order them, and it's been a couple of weeks now. I had to wait for these to get in from, I believe they were somewhere in the States off eBay. That's where I got them. Anyway, I'm going to get these pins installed into the diff here and get the rest of it all put back together, throw some fluid in there, and oh, I did order some other gaskets here, some Tech Joe gaskets. and I think I messed up when I ordered. I'm going to have to look back on my order and see what I actually ordered, because they're not the right size. They're too small for the diff, for the KRATON here. So I'm thinking it's something along, I don't know, 1/10 four-wheel drive diff. I'm not sure. I'll have to look back on my order form and get a hold of Tech Joe. I chatted with him after I did an order. He seemed like a nice guy, so I'll get with him and straighten that out, get some more on order if I have to. Anyway, I'm going to get this together and then I'll show you what it's like. Alright, I've got that rear diff all installed there. She's looking good, nice and cleaned all up. All ready to just put that cover back on and get it back together. I can't wait to get this truck back together. It's been a while. It's been not broken down, but it's been on the shelf for a while, needing these repairs. I was waiting for those pins, like I said, and now it's got back together, and I think we're ready to go. So the next time you see this, it will be all back together, cover on. Let's check it out. Okay, I've got that all buttoned back together. Every last screw is put back together and put in place. The only thing I haven't done is put the wing on, because I had to add some E6000 glue. It's from Eclectic Products. It's one of the best ones I have found from the company that produces Shoe Goo and Max Goop and all those other good adhesives. And anyway, one thing I did replace before I put the diff into the truck was I replaced the bearing, because here's basically what it came out like, all the pieces. I tried to tap it out easily and it ended up exploding as I was trying to gently tap it out to persuade it to come out. It exploded. So, and that was the bearing that goes in right in here. Get a bit more light on the subject here. That's the bearing that goes in right here behind your output, or well, I guess it's your input to your diff. That cup right there, the bearing that rides right in the case there, that was the one that exploded. So I'm glad I replaced that. And also, while I was in there, I did pop out the one that's the other bearing, the inner bearing. It's the bigger, the larger of the two. I popped that one out and replaced that with a bearing, both the bearings actually from Jim's Bearings. So I get most of my bearings for the Armas, and that matter, most of my RCs from Jim. He's a great supplier. Check him out, jimsbearings.com. And what else did we do to this thing recently? That's about it. Like I said, I'll get that wing put back on and the body slapped on, and this thing's ready to go, I think. I can't wait to get bashing with the crew with this KRATON 6S. It's a great truck, and I've been missing it in the fleet. So anyway, that concludes this video. Hopefully you got something out of that. I know I rambled on a bit there at the end, but this video took a while to put together, waiting for parts and stuff. So I'm just glad this sucker's back together, and we'll get it out on the track, bring you some more videos. Thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you're not subscribed already, subscribe, throw me a like, and leave a comment. I always enjoy reading them, and I get back to you as soon as I can. Anyway, Screaming Demons RC, SDRC, we're out.